So back in today, we're going to be talking about how the richest players in the game make the coins. Might seem rich coming from someone who isn't actually that wealthy in the game, but it's definitely an interesting topic. Anyway, let's get into the video. But before we do, if you do go on to enjoy the video and you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Every subscriber helps and I would really appreciate it. Also, you should leave a like on the video, it lets me know that you actually enjoy the videos and it also boosts the video in the algorithm. And finally, my Discord server is the top link in the description, there's really no reason not to join. Anyway, let's get into the video, I hope you all do enjoy. So around about 4 months ago, I made a very similar video to this where I basically looked at the ways the richest players make the coins. In that video, I talked about like dungeon and slayer carries. Now, even though there still can be very effective ways of making money, times have changed. A new era has begun, an era of lowballing, scamming, ratting and IRL trading. Obviously there's more. Now, if you've been living under a rock, you may ask, what is lowballing? Well, if any of you have ever heard of the term debt factor in real life, it's sort of similar to that. Basically, people just offer really low prices for items that are somewhat difficult to sell. That way you don't have to pay any fees, you get the cash straight away, and you can just move on. Whereas the person who is doing the lowballing is going to get a good price for the item, going to be able to make a lot of profit from that. It may take a little while for them to sell, but they don't mind because they're making the profit. Examples of items that people may lowball pretty much range from anything, but I mean a lot of people lowball dyed armor that they can't sell. Also other miscellaneous items that just have a low demand but are usually quite expensive. So you may now be asking, how do people lowball? Like, how does it happen? So for instance, if you list an item on the AH, someone may see that item and think, oh well, it's not sold for a while, I'll offer them a lower price to see if they'll basically just take a lower price for it in order to have the cash quicker. So if you have items listed on the AH and you're getting spammed with party invites from the same person, that may be what they're trying to do. Also, a lot of big Hypixel Discord servers will have a lowballing channel, like for instance this one, I forget what it's called, Skyblock Z. I don't usually use it, but I used it a while ago to try and lowball stuff, but it didn't really work. But nevertheless, there's so many ads as you can see of people lowballing or wanting to be lowballed in a way, so yeah. To be honest, a lot of the lowballing nowadays is just advertised through like Hub 1 and Hub 2 and highly populated hubs where people just spam the fact that they're lowballing, visit them and so on. For instance, if we were to go for, I don't know, Hub 3, we waited about 10 seconds and someone's lowballing, visit them, lowballing. Usually you'll spawn into someone's island and it'll look like this. Almost like you're in a shop. Now let's talk more about lowballing. It's a relatively new concept in the world of Skyblock. I mean, it's always been around, but not known as lowballing, I guess. I remember about 5 or 6 months ago when I did my Week to Terminator series, basically the person who won the Terminator essentially got lowballed for the Terminator because they didn't know how much it was really worth because of all basically the upgrades it had on it and everything. I mean, it wasn't known as a lowball at that point as such, but like it pretty much was. And I think that's almost the annoying part about lowballing, because sometimes like people will target people who for some reason have good gear but don't know too much about the game, or find themselves in the hands of a great item but they just don't know much about it. Therefore they end up basically getting way less coins than they actually could for it. Now granted, I guess that's just, I mean, it's almost natural selection. But at the same time I do think it's a little bit scummy because people will actually try to target people who clearly know less about the game. Like I said, people are obviously still physically agreeing and doing the trade. So it is sort of fair game. I just think it's a little bit murky. I am sorry to interrupt the video, but at the moment we're actually trying to beat the population of San Marino in subscribers. So the population of San Marino is coincidentally similar to YouTube rank. What a coincidence. Almost like a search for a country with almost the same population as YouTube rank. Anyway, moving on. The plan is, if we actually get to YouTube rank, we're going to visit San Marino, and we'd actually be able to claim that we have more subscribers and population, which would be pretty cool. Basically what I'm saying is you should subscribe to the channel. What an incentive. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Now, as with pretty much anything on Skyblock, there's definitely drawbacks. For instance, if you're playing at basically an obscure time when there's not that many people on the server, you're going to have a much harder time actually trying to get the flips. Obviously, because it's not like the AH where people list their items and go offline. Like, to lowball you have to physically trade someone. Now what I will say is it definitely helps if you're a richer or a more well-known player, especially if you're well-known for lowballing itself, because obviously then you're going to have more people coming to you, basically wanting you to lowball their items. Like sometimes I get messages and DMs asking me to lowball people's items, And a lot of the time I don't go for it because I mean I like to save those flips for my flipping series, and a lot of the time I'm not recording. Also, as you could probably expect, people are wanting to lowball items that don't particularly sell well, and sometimes it's just better to not have your coins tied up in a bigger flip when you could do more smaller flips and make more coins basically in a shorter amount of time. Like I said, if you're more well known, then you're definitely going to make more coins. Like, people are going to come to you. Almost, you don't even have to go and actively search for people to lowball. So I guess yet again we have yet another example of capitalism in Hypixel Skyblock. The rich get richer. Okay, at the same time, you can definitely make a good amount of money even if you're not well known, but that's besides the point. To be honest, if it's done correctly, many people consider this to be pretty much the best money making method at the moment. It would just be inaccurate to even estimate how many coins you can make per hour or per day, because that is completely dependent on your circumstances and the amount of coins you have. Having said that, the richest players probably lowball unless they get a lot of contraband. Anyway, that is going to pretty much wrap up today's video. I hope you all have enjoyed. If you did, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.